Hi, my name is CJ. I'm going to be doing a monologue from some plays that I like, so here we go. I'm no idealist to believe firmly in the integrity of our courts and in the jury system. That is no ideal to me. It is a living, working reality. Gentlemen, a court is no better than each man of you sitting here before me on this jury. A court is as only as the sound of its jury, and a jury is only as sound as the man who make it up. I am confident that you gentlemen will review without passion the evidence you have heard, come to a decision, and restore this defendant to his family. In the name of God, do your duty. Here's one from Romeo and Juliet. In faith I will, let me peruse this face, Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. What said my man when he bestowed soul? Did he not attend as we rode? I think he told me Paris should have been married. Juliet, said he not so? Or did I dream it so? Or am I mad, hearing him talk of Juliet? To think it was so. Oh, give me thy hand, one writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no, a lantern-slaughtered youth. For here lies Juliet, and her beauty makes this vault feasting present full of light. Death, lie thou there by a dead man interred. How oft when men are at the point of death, have they been merry? Which have they keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, my love, my wife, death that had sucked the honey out of thy breath hath no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered, beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Oh, what more favour can I do to thee? Than with that hand that will cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his hast with his that was thine enemy. Forgive me, cousin, ah, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsustainable death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in the dark to be paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this place of dim night depart again. Here, here I will remain with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I last set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of unauspicious stars from this world wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last, arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, the doors of breath seal as a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide, thou desperate pilot. Now at once run on the dashing routes, thy sea weary bleak. Here's to my love, O true apothecary. And here is Juliet. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or without will it not but be sworn, my love, and I will no longer be a Capulet. Here's another one from Romeo. He jests at scars that never felt a wound, but soft, what light through the yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief. That thou her maid art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her versatile livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it, I am too bold. 'Tis not me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there? They were in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through her airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it would not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her head? Oh, that I were a glove on thy hand, that I might touch that cheek. Prince. Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners, and of this neighbor-stained steel, will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture. From those bloody hands throw the mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of the moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred in an airy ward by thee, old Capulet and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens cast by their graves beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands of old, cankered with peace, to pot your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our further pleasure in this case, to old Freetown, our common judgment place, once more, on pain of death, all men depart. Here is Benoblio. Tybalt here slain, whose Romeo hand did slay, Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged without your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed. Could you not take truce, an unruly spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace? But that is how he tilts, with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who was all hot, turns deadly point to point, and in his martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with all the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorted. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, part, and swifter than his tongue. His agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled, but by and by back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and tith they'd go like lightning, for ere I could draw them apart. Was stout Tybalt slain as he fell, did Romeo's turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benivolio die. Here's one from the Crucible. Spoke or silent, a promise is surely made, and she may dot on it now. I am sure she does, and thinks to kill me, then to take my place. It is her dearest hope, John, I know it. There are thousands of names. Why does she call mine? There be a certain danger in calling such a name. I am no goody-good that sleeps in ditches, nor Osborne drunk and half-witted. She's dare not to call out such a farmer's wife, but there will be a monstrous profit in it. She thinks to take my place, John. John, have you ever shown her somewhat of contempt? She cannot pass you in this church, but will blush. I think she sees another meaning, that blush. Here's one from Othello. My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bold for life and education. My life and education both do learn me. How to respect you? You are the lord of duty. I am Hithro, your daughter, but he is my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you. Preferring you before her father, so much I challenge that I may profess due to my lord. Here's Hamlet. Ye hear, Lateries, aboard for shame, the wind sits on the shoulder of your sail, and yet you stayed for there, my blessing with thee, and the few precepts in thy memory. See, thou character, give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportion through his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hopes of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of new hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of the entrance to a quarrel, but being in bed, that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but preserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy pursue can buy, but not expressed in fancy rich gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France the best rank and station are of the most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor leader be, for loan oft loses both in self and friend, and borrowing dulls edge of its husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as night the day. Thou canst not they be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee. Let's see, what else are we gonna read? Let's take a look here. Let's read Capulet. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone in company still may care, hath been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair dimness, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one thoughts would wish a man, and then to have wretched puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender. To answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me, but as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you look, you shall not house with me, look to it, think oneth, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart advised, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I've never near acknowledged thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust, bethink I will not be forwosen. This is Mercutio, verse 59. Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the friar's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies athwart men noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spider legs, the cover of her wings of grasshoppers, traces of the smallest spider web, the collapse of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket bones, and the lash of film. Her wagoner, a small grated coated nut, not so big as it was round, little worm, pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner, squirrel, or old grub, time out of mind of fairies and coachmakers. And in the slate she gallops, night by night, through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. O courtiers' knees that dream the courtesies straight, O lawyers' fingers who straight dreams on fees, O ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry mab with the blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweet meats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops O courtier's nose, and then she dreams he of smelling on a suit, and someone comes, she with a pig's tail tickling a parson's nose with as he lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefice. Sometimes she dribbeth O soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cunning foreign throats, of branches abuscurados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and I am being thus frightened, swears the prayer or two, and sleeps again. This of that is a very mab that plates the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the efflux of flour Soterish has, which, once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the bag when maids lie on their backs, that press them and learn them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she. Okay. The Prince, verse 67. Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of the neighbor's stained steel, will they not hear? What, ho, you men, you breasts that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains. Oh, we already did that. Oops. I think we already did that. We'll do Juliet. Page, verse 78, O serpent heart hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend, angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish, ravening despised substance of the divinest show. Just opposite of what thou just seemless, a damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hast thou to do in hell when thou didst bower in the spirit of a fiend in moral paradise of such sweet flesh? Was never book contradicting such vile matter so fairly bound, or that deceit should dwell in such gorgeous palace? We'll do Lady Capulet next. Verse 86, I think. Okay. What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him our feast. Read it o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight right there in beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one other leads content, and what absurd in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. To the precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him, only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, for fair without the fair within the hide. The book in many's eyes doth share the glory that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you are shall share all, and that he doth possess, by having him, making him yourself no less.